You think ice cream is a dessert? But most supermarket pints behave more like processed snacks. Today, we expose 10 brands loaded with ultra-processed tricks, then show the 5 that still read like a recipe, not a lab. Here's the truth. The big 3 red flags, polysorbate 80, carrageenan, and high fructose corn syrup, sneak into fake creaminess, stability, and sweetness. Stay to the end to spot them in seconds and find the low-additive pints that actually earn a place in your freezer. Number 1. Breyers. You see simple on the front, but flip the Breyers tub and some flavors tell a different story. Many now lean on gums and stabilizers to hold air and fake creaminess. That's a cost play and a texture trick. Lines that once read cream, sugar, eggs now list guar gum, tarragum, and carrageenan in select products. These gums stretch volume so a lean base feels rich, like pumping a tire instead of adding rubber. Here's the kicker. Carrageenan can irritate the gut for sensitive folks, and emulsifiers can alter mouthfeel and satiety cues. Number 2. Turkey Hill. A budget pint looks friendly. The fine print isn't. Turkey Hill leans on a sugar and stabilizer seesaw. That brown sugar bourbon vanilla flavor? The label lists sugar, corn syrup, and high fructose corn syrup instead of the brown sugar and bourbon. You expect HFCS amps sweetness and tweaks texture because it's cheap, not because it's better. Guar gum and cellulose gum keep swirls and chunks floating so the scoop looks thick even when the base is thin. Here's the truth. Added sugars like HFCS stack risk when you already get plenty elsewhere, and emulsifier-heavy mixes change mouthfeel without giving you nutrition. Number 3. Blue Bunny. Ultra-creamy, low-price, flashy flavors? Sounds fun. But that cloud-like scoop leans on emulsifiers. Blue Bunny often runs skim milk and whey up top, then uses mono and diglycerides and polysorbate 80 to whip in more air and keep it from collapsing. That's overrun plus chemistry. Structure agents doing the heavy lift, not cream. Emulsifiers help block ice crystals and make light bases feel rich, like propping up a tent with poles instead of fabric strength. Here's the truth. Polysorbate 80 sits on the big 3 watch list for a reason. Read the label. If it scoops like a cloud and reads like a lab, that's your cue. Spot polysorbate 80 and pass. Number 4. Friendlies. Childhood sundaes meet today's freezer aisle, and Friendlies rides that warm glow hard. But some grocery tubs lean on corn syrups, colors, and gums to lock a sweet hit and a steady swirl. Flavors with candy bits and fudge ribbons often add artificial dyes plus a stack of stabilizers to keep pieces from sinking and sauces from weeping. That's a technical fix, not real cream doing the work. Number 5. Great value. Walmart. Lowest price per pint. But what's the cost inside? Great value leans on the big 3 to cut corners. High fructose corn syrup for cheap sweetness, polysorbate 80 to whip in air and smooth the melt, and carrageenan to hold shape on long trips. Check a label and you can see all 3 sitting with extra gums and color aids. That trio fakes cream and stability like spackle hiding cracks. Looks fine, not built right. Here's the truth. Guidance for a lower ultra-processed diet says avoid HFCS, polysorbate 80, and carrageenan when you can. Number 6. Häagen-Dazs bars. Classic brand, chocolate-dipped bar. Feels safe. But bars need extra help to survive a dip, a hard freeze, and a bite. That's where stabilizers and emulsifiers step in. Selected Häagen-Dazs bars add mono and diglycerides, gums, or glazing agents so the shell snaps and the core stays smooth. The pint can stay simple, but the bar format changes the rules. The coating pulls moisture, stresses the surface, and can shear the fat network. So formulators add helpers to keep it from cracking or melting wrong, like adding rebar to concrete. Here's the truth. Premium name doesn't guarantee a pure label. Read the bar label. Don't assume the pint formula applies. Number 7. Baskin-Robbins grocery tubs. You buy the parlor flavor for movie night. The tub looks fun and familiar. But to keep candy swirls and chunky bits suspended on store shelves, these grocery tubs can lean on corn syrup solids, gums, and synthetic dyes. A flavor with ribbons and bright pieces often stacks stabilizers so the sauce doesn't weep and the mix-ins don't sink. It's like adding glue to hold a puzzle in place. Research notes that artificial colors, including red number 3 and yellow 5, are used for vivid, uniform color, and consumer groups have raised concerns for sensitive people. Fun flavor doesn't require fake structure. You can find similar tastes with shorter labels later. The big regional classic? Same playbook. Number 8. Dreyers/Eddies. Slow-churned sounds wholesome, but the lighter feel needs help. Lower fat bases bring more air, less cream. To keep a silky bite, Dreyers/Eddies often adds carrageenan, guar gum, and mono and diglycerides. Those hold water, block ice, and bind fat so a thin base still scoops smooth. It's like bracing a flimsy wall with beams. Stand straight, not solid. Here's the truth. Consumer health advice says watch emulsifiers and gum stacks if you want fewer ultra-processed cues. Read the panel. When the first half lists gums, emulsifiers, and corn-derived sweeteners, you're not getting dairy doing the work. Number 9. Klondike. What would you do for one? Maybe check the label first. Klondike stacks parts: a shell, a core, sometimes a wafer. Each tier brings its own helpers. The shell leans on emulsifiers for snap. The ice cream adds sweeteners and gums to stay smooth. A wafer or sandwich layer brings more sugars to keep crisp. HFCS, artificial flavors, and emulsifier blends can show up in different layers, so the total climbs fast. Here's the truth. Multi-part desserts create additive creep. One per layer adds up like fees on a bill. One square can pack a lab's worth of extras. Number 10. Blue Ribbon Classics. The label screams value. The ingredients confirm why. You get the play. High fructose corn syrup, gum stacks, artificial flavors, and emulsifiers working together for sweetness, structure, and shelf life. The big three show up like a package deal. HFCS for cheap, sweet, polysorbate 80 to whip and smooth. Carrageenan to hold shape through long hauls that travels well, but gives you little real food value. It's spackle over drywall, not brick. Consumer advocates warn about synthetic dyes for sensitive folks and emulsifier-heavy formulas when you want fewer ultra-processed cues. You deserve cream doing the work, not chemistry. If you're cutting UPFS, this is the easy pass. Now the cure, the shortlist pints that read like a recipe. Number 1. Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. Finally, a label that reads like a kitchen. Yes, the price runs high, but the formula earns it. Most pints lead with cream, milk, sugar, and real flavor. You don't see artificial dyes, and stabilizers stay minimal. The texture comes from dairy fat and proper churn, not chemical scaffolding, so it melts clean and tastes honest. Like getting strength from muscle, not a brace. Here's the truth. Short lists usually mean fewer additives, steadier digestion, and a richer scoop without the weird afterfeel. Number 2. Van Leeuwen. Simple dairy, real egg yolks, straight flavors. That's the promise. But not every pint stays that clean. The classic dairy line often keeps it tight. Cream, milk, sugar, eggs, vanilla, and a churn that lets dairy fat build body without scaffolding. That's texture from the base, not a chemistry set. Seasonal drops and vegan lines can shift gears. Plant-based tubs may add gums to manage ice and use coconut oil, which raises saturated fat even when labels say dairy-free. Here's the truth. Plant-based doesn't equal healthier when gums climb and coconut oil leads. Stick to the classic dairy line for the cleanest experience. Number 3. Strauss Family Creamery. Old school dairy made modern. Strauss keeps the base clean, Organic cream, organic milk, sugar, and egg yolks with straight flavorings like vanilla or cocoa. But can organic stay indulgent without the lab kit? Yes. When the milk and cream start rich, you don't need gums to fake body. High-quality dairy builds its own structure as fat locks in water and slows ice growth, so texture holds without carrageenan or polysorbate 80. Here's the truth. A strong base cuts the need for emulsifiers and stabilizers. Fewer moving parts mean fewer surprises and a steadier melt. Number 4. Alden's Organic. National reach with organic guardrails. You can find it in big chains without giving up standards. Scaling often invites shortcuts. Here, the core stays tight. Many staple flavors lead with organic cream, organic milk, sugar, egg yolks, and natural flavors, while avoiding HFCS, carrageenan, and polysorbate 80. That's a clean base doing the work, not a lab kit. It's scoop smooth because fat and churn build structure, like a sturdy table that doesn't need shims. Here's the truth. Organic rules limit certain synthetic colors and restrict some additives, which helps keep labels short and predictable. Number 5. Häagen-Dazs Classic Pints. Sometimes the old guard still does it right. We flag the dipped bars for extra helpers, but the classic pints deserve a clean look. Core flavors like vanilla typically list cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla, no carrageenan. No polysorbate 80, no HFCS. That short list matters. Texture comes from dairy fat and careful churn, not a scaffold of gums and lab emulsifiers. It melts clean, holds body, and tastes rich because the base is doing the work, like a sturdy chair that stands without braces. Here's the truth. If you want simple and rich, this line delivers. Just don't mix up the bar formula with the pint. Real ice cream reads like a recipe. Cream, milk, sugar, eggs, real flavor. If it reads like a lab, leave it. Your fix is simple. Scan fast, choose better, and enjoy dessert without the hidden extras.